Hello, Christopher. How are you this evening? Do you know where you are, Christopher? Do you know who I am, Christopher? My name is Dr. Grayson, Christopher. You are in hospital, in St. Clement's. Do you understand why you are here? What was that, Christopher? We'll get to that. Right now, I need you to listen to me carefully. I need you to tell me the last thing you remember. Christopher, I need you to focus on my voice. Can you do that for me, Christopher? Christopher, do you understand that you are blind?
I'm not blind. I can see perfectly well. I'm in a doctor's office. Where are you?
Christopher, my name is Dr. Grayson. I am a consultant neurologist at St. Clement's. Do you remember who I am? I have administered 1.5 milligrams of alprazolam to the patient following an acute panic attack. He threw his television set out of the window at approximately 11:45 p.m. I have instructed the porters to lock the door until he is calmer. On examination, his body shows clear signs of a long history of self-harm. This supports the hypothesis that his current delusions are rooted in a history of mental illness. It is a mistake to describe the patient as unable to distinguish between reality and fantasy. The distinction for him is utterly irrelevant. It appears that he has subconsciously constructed a narrative to explain the fragmentary nature of his experience and his ongoing disorientation. Put simply, at the root of this narrative is his belief that the world has ended. Christopher, do you know who I am?
Why are the lights turned out?
Christopher, do you know where you are? The paramedics were unable to find his eyes. We think he may have eaten them. Why the television, Chris? Why that?
Because I fell through a gap in the channels and the signal got frozen in time. That's how they restart hearts, isn't it? That's why they invented electricity, to restart hearts, isn't it?
Wake up, Christopher. I need you to wake up now.
That's how they restart the television. That's how they born me. It's like when you lose the channel on the television. Only that's the real signal. That's why I had to detune you. That's why I had to break open the screen.
Automatic medical systems engaged. Morphine administered.
That's why I had to get rid of my eyes.
Minor fracture detected.
The patient was admitted suffering third-degree burns to his hands, with other severe burns across his body, the result of the ensuing fire. The trauma to his eyes is several days old and appears to have been self-inflicted. The patient is suffering from an advanced stage of Korsakoff psychosis. He has almost total retrograde amnesia, sporadic episodes of severe anterograde amnesia. Although he responds normally during these periods, he has no recollections of them.
I watched them in the hospital. The doctor leaned out of the screen and pushed her fingers into my eyes, up to the knuckles. Why she did that, I couldn't tell at the time.
My name is Dr. Grayson. You are in hospital, Christopher. Do you understand me? Do you understand me, Christopher? Christopher? Can you hear me, Christopher? What appears evident is that the fantasy apocalypse is both older and more detailed than I first thought. Rather than a response to the event, it predates it considerably, and has fully replaced any memory of life prior to the onset of Korsakoff's. We must tread carefully. It is little wonder that he considers our conversations to be an intrusion into this world. A worrying change is that he seems to be capable of integrating me into his delusion. Where are you now, Christopher?
This is where they make the pieces. They put this code into each one so they can get back in later.
Why do you think your eyes are good? Is this where you left them?
I didn't. The collectors took them away. They're jealous because all they have are ears. They wanted them to see the warm, to keep warm.
Can you imagine exploring this...
I call it the factory. I've been here before.
this factory? Can you tell me what you see here? Tell me about the collectors, Christopher. When did you first become aware of them?
I was holding out my arms and thought I could drag them. It was burning along my arms, and I could see then everyone, because then they will be the broad, not along the skin, but underneath it, time and space, between the channels, and I saw it was a signal too, and I could trace it all the way back up into the world, and I got this headache where it caught fire, and I knew the wire was too stretched, and that was why they spin around. I think, you know, light. I think it's like they spin and signal, and to read they're watching.
Can you see them now?
I can't see anything. I can't find my eyes.
Minor fracture detected.
Tell me more about the collectors.
They've always been here, I think. At least, I think so. Not always this, though, not so aggressive. I guess that none of us are supposed to be here now we're all dead. They're just collecting it all up. You can't blame them for that.
But what are they, Christopher? Do you know that? I'm going to take my fingers out of your eyes now, Christopher. I want you to tell me what you can see.
Minor fracture detected.
Heads on the pavement. I could see the heads out on the pavement, and each one was still frozen. They used to process the patients at the hospital. After they extracted it, they used to patients at the hospital with a long needle. They pull it out through a long needle that they put in through the ear. They pull it out. They pulled it out of his ear, and then it got bottled and sold off. They pulled it out of his when the world ended. That's why this place was a locus. When the world ended. It's all because of that memory. It remembered itself and how it got there, and that's why it can still get here. They burn it in so no one can see either. So the smoke is in your eyes and you can't see them coming. I knew that. I knew if I wanted to let them in properly, I had to make it easier. It's like the conduit, breaking the channel to let the signal through. And there was, you see, this perfect world because it's not so much the fire, but the ash and the smoke afterwards, because then everything is already in pieces for them.
Are you saying you can communicate with the collectors? Do you hear voices?
I'm hearing you now, aren't I? Trap them in, catch them in the memory maker, feed them on that memory maker, and then they won't follow me around too much.
Lacerations detected. Minor fracture detected.
We're going to try something new, Christopher. I'm going to show you a sequence of numbers, and I want you to try and remember them.
I thought you said I couldn't do that.
Well, there's some evidence that you can retain information, even if you can't actually remember it yourself. So we're going to try that. I want you to look at these numbers carefully, and I want you to repeat them over and over again, and we'll see what happens. Can you do that for me, Christopher? Christopher?
Minor lacerations detected.
What is extraordinary is the recollection of entirely fictional television documentaries, which he can recount in great detail. Prior to the end of the world, he can describe programs he watched, even though it appears, certainly in some cases it can be assumed, they never existed. This seems important because it does at least point to a prior life in some form of normality, even if these memories themselves are fabricated. It also reaffirms my argument that the television for him represents the primary means of travel between the worlds that he has access to. Indeed, the notion of the end of the world, of it breaking into pieces, is, according to his experience, an entirely logical interpretation of events.
Why do you keep asking me about that?
Because you can't make new memories. Because you can't remember about the events prior to this. You are creating this to fill in the blanks. What I'm concerned about is that this new memory you are trying to make, or what you remember, this is just not real, Christopher. It didn't happen. And this, what you remember, this is really worrying. So we're going to try and go further back before the world ended. Do you think we can do that?
Before they attached me to the television. Before you pushed out my eyes and stuck the needles in my ears. When I still had hands.
Christopher, we didn't take your eyes. This is what I mean. But if it helps, then yes. Let's go back then.
If you could hold the signal yourself in your own hands, put your flesh into the signal, then you push apart the channels and get in.
And the collectors?
Yes, that's right. It means they would be able to go backwards and forwards as they liked. Screens refract the light, so that's why the burning happens. But if you put your hands into the screen, you could see clearly and you'd not get all the lie burn.
Are you saying then...
Yes, if you make it hotter everywhere, they wouldn't see you in the heat, be able to find you.
I am increasingly concerned with assimilation. From what I can ascertain, Christopher has nearly fully integrated me into his paranoid fantasy. To him, I am ceasing to exist as an independent object, and am simply an extension of the post-apocalyptic world. He has effectively broken me into fragments. My signal is disrupted, my screen is broken, and my hands are numbed by the voltage.
Doctor? I can't hear you, Doctor. Are you still here? Both fists to break it. Cut my hands. Got into the television. I could see the signal in there.
It will end up receding until it disappears completely. There seems no doubt we are losing our grip on him. It is the speed at which this is happening that is most shocking. It fell from the shelf and it broke open and it went everywhere. Some of the water got into the monitor and it blew a fuse. I found myself thinking of Christopher then. I cannot help but feel he is trapped in this place, a victim of life yearning for escape. To go further back into this destroyed world gets us no closer to a pre-apocalyptic memory, but actually reaffirms it, pushes him deeper into it. Christopher, can you hear me? Christopher! Christopher! Christopher, can you hear me? Wake up! My concern is that we are actually amplifying the situation rather than resolving it. Perhaps it would have been better for him if the paramedics hadn't reached him in time. Although I am now convinced this was no clumsy suicide attempt, but rather a perfectly logical means of permanently transferring himself into the new world. I wonder now if all we have done is to obstruct what would be, for him, a natural act and outcome. Christopher. Can you hear me, Christopher? If you let me be your eyes, I can see for you.
This is the room I was born in.
Your hands are healing well, Christopher.
They hurt.
They will. The surgeon managed to save 2 fingers and the thumb on your left, but I'm afraid the burns were extremely severe.
It's all right. I don't need hands now. You were a blunt instrument to me, Doctor. You were helping me clear the barricades and break through the screens. Can I have some more painkillers now?
It's not time for that yet.
The collectors are here, Doctor. They've come for me again.
Alterations detected.
these fragments in my vision? When we found him, he had lengths of copper wire wrapped around both hands, presumably to increase conductivity. Everyone, if we just allow him to vanish into this world forever. It cannot be a kindness forcing him to exist between the two. I am sure I am now little more than hairs in his head, no different from any of the other sounds.
Time froze over in the signal. That's why you had to start the fires, to heat the world up, to thaw it out again.
Why did you break the screen, Christopher? What did you think you would find behind it?
A door. There's a door in head behind every eye in my screen. That's why you have to break them all. Then you see the world as it is ended.
What's behind the door, Christopher? What happens when you get through the door?
If you can just break the screens, you can get to the door. That's the only way to get back home. It's not often they are completely silent. Because they are cold, that's why they are singing at the edges.
Are they here now? Do you know if they are?
They want me to come home.
Do you want to go with them?
I don't know yet. I'm wrapped in copper, the superconductor. I have placed my hands into the sun and counted away a foot for every signal. I am the king of collectors, with hospital bed a throne.
The patient displays signs of memory that I cannot explain given his diagnosis. This morning, when I began our session, he greeted me by name. I cannot explain this. Although he continues to deny he is in St. Clement's, he displays none of the anxiety or panic of the last few days. I am not sure what to make of this. And last night I dreamed of the place where they make the pieces. and I woke up with a pain in my ears and the room was as cold as ice.
In a shattered world, each head in cold, a signal reaching out for the heat. I will see again, I will see again.
Minor fracture detected. Warning, vital signs critical. Seek medical attention.
Gravity spin, crush the pieces back together. Join the edge, make a screen to play a signal mirrored on. I will see again. There are worlds within worlds, and each to its fragment join the edge to make a skull. Set a sun fire in the center to heat the orbits. I will see again.
My television set appears to be broken. All the channels have vanished. Instead, I am forced to sit with my eyes closed and simply listen to the static. Christopher, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dr. Grayson.
Christopher, where am I?
You are inside us now. We are taking you home. This is how the world ends.
The paramedics found the patient in the living room. He had wrapped his hands in copper wire and punched them through the television screen. The television appears to have burst into flames and is the cause of the trauma to his hands. The paramedics report they were unable to find his eyes. I think we may have eaten them. What happens when the last door opens, Christopher? Where will we go? What will become of us?
Like the world, we will be fragments. When we come apart, the release of heat will make the collectors never hungry anymore. You asked me where my eyes were, Dr. Grayson.
I did. Do you know where they are?
Of course, they're right there.
Where? I don't understand. Waking up,
They're
not
right
remembering
there,
falling asleep.
in your head.
Dropped into freezing dark water from a great height. Opened my eyes, but it was darkness flooding in, not light. Why is the hospital underwater, Christopher? And why are my hands so numb? Tell me about my hands, Christopher.
There was enough left to pick up the signal. You make them wet with copper and stick them into the center of it, and then it flows, a cold river.
I write this with a needle in my hand. It is perfectly safe. I have placed it into the screen and extracted the signal. When the sun goes out, I will inject it directly into his eyes.
I can't help you, your arm, Dr. Grayson. My thumbs are bound in copper. You'll have to do it yourself.
Is this the balance phone? It's part of the diagnosis. I think I remember that.
This is the beginning of the fragmentation. Soon all the pieces will be free to soar, held each one to the sun, recombined to their own logic.
Minor lacerations detected. Seek medical
It collapses off its hinges and flies to the sun. All the fragments are flying there now. We will climb them in the orbits and reach out and burn our hands in the heat source. Flooding the ended world with light, like water, like heat, static. I have swum through the deep signal, blind fish in dark sound towards the surface, towards the light. The door is made of static, but you can hear them singing behind it. There is a pain in your ears, you can feel you're getting close.
Lacerations detected.
I write this with a needle in my hands. It is sterilized and perfectly safe. In a few moments, I will attempt to extract the excess acetylcholine. I will then inject alprazolam directly into the cortex. I am sure he will be more comfortable after that.
You are blinded now from looking at the sun, and it has burned your hands and your skin, but you can almost reach it. It has fingers of heat sunk up to the knuckles in your eyes, and the noise is deafening as you approach.
Christopher takes the sun and places it in his eyes. They shine now with all the noise. The signal is clear, and the collectors are singing home. We will follow his flight. In pieces. In the aftermath. This is how the world ends. Wake up, Christopher! Wake up! Hello, Christopher. How are you this evening? Do you know where you are, Christopher? Do you know who I am, Christopher?
I remember who you are, Dr. Grayson.
Do you know where you are, Christopher?
Minor lacerations detected.
I do. I'm in the sun, the signal. I'm home.
How do your hands feel this evening, Christopher?
They feel much better now. These fingers are much better.
They are copper. I thought you'd like them. Would you like me to attend to your ears now?
Yes, please. I would like you to extract all the useless noise.
I have brought my needle. It's perfectly safe. I've taken my eyes out now, Christopher. I thought you'd like them. Would you like them now?
I have this sun in my head. Everything is burning now. It's perfectly safe.
I will keep them in my pocket then.
For later.
Tell me how the world ended.
I could tell it was trying to, and it was time to leave. So I set up the door in the corner of the room and left it running all night and day so all the programs were exhausted, so the fragments couldn't fight back. Then I took all the copper and I wrapped it around my hands, made the conductors out of them. This was too late after I took my eyes and hid them in the sun. I waited for a break in the signal, then I pushed them both in. That was when the world ended. I don't remember anything much after that. Until the collectors came to drag me back to the world. I could hear them talking. They were scared of the heat. They worried about not finding my eyes. I hid them too carefully.
My name is Dr. Christine Grayson. I am a consultant conductor for the Sainted Clemency. I have responsibility for flight and heat and the removal of eyes and hands. These are the signals we will use for the end of the world. This is what we will remember only. It is my job to remove the boards from the windows and break the screen so we can see again. My needle is perfectly safe.
The sun is the television. The collectors are my heating eyes. The needle is the hospital. The doctor is the copper around my hand. This is the room I was born in. This is how the world ends. I will see again.
Wake up!
متوجه الله چشم از جمع ما سوا بربند و به ملکوت برگشا آنچه خواهی از او خواه و آنچه طلبی از او طلب به نظری 100,000 حاجاتت روا نماید و به التفاتی 100,000 درد بی‌درمان دوا کند به انعطافی زخم‌ها را مرهم نهاد و به نگاهی دلها را از قیدم برهاند آنچه کند او کند چه توانم کرد یفعل ما یشاء سر تسلیم نه و توکل بر رب رحیم به البها لک
Thank you.